Hello and welcome all. In this video today, I am going to talk about the C# language 9 preview version and we'll configure and test out some of the features. So the prerequisites for C# 9, which is now in preview 8, released, which was released on the 25th of August, and it could be downloaded with the Visual Studio 2019 version 16.7 and higher from this website. I will put this in the description, and you need to have .NET 5 Preview SDK from this location. Okay. Now, .NET 5 Preview 8 was released on August 25, as I just said. Now, this .NET 5 is now feature complete, meaning that nearly all the features are in their final form, this being the last preview before the stable release, with only bug fixes remaining. And in this preview, C# 9 has a significant release of the language. Now, before I switch over to Visual Studio to demonstrate some coding example with preview version of C# 9, I have already got on my machine 16.73, which is higher than 16.7, and I have downloaded the .NET Preview SDK before coming to this lecture from this website. So let's switch over to Visual Studio now. Now, from the start, create a new project, and I have the choice, of either selecting the console app.NET Framework or console app.NET Core. So let's try this time for a change with console app.NET Framework. Both are going to work with some minor modification. Okay, so that's what I am going to cover. So I have got a solution with 0 projects, so no issues here. I can add a new project again because I had a previously created solution which I have deleted the project. So now this time console app.NET Framework again is picked up, and then click on next, and okay, we have got this console app 1. Oh, let it be console app 1, doesn't matter. So let me create this. Okay, now what the changes I need to bring, how to configure it to be running the C# 9. So I'll have to click on tools, then options, and then preview features within the environment heading. So I have ticked in this use preview of the .NET Core SDK requires restart. Click on OK, and then I will paste some code. Okay, so one of the code is I will create a class in order to show you something, the init property, while setting the public property. So what is that and how it works, I will tell you in a second. So click on add and then class, and let me call this person. This is the person class. Sorry, rename. Yes, okay. So class will also be changed to, as I change the file name, class is also changed and took its name from the changed file name, class person. That's what I intended. And earlier we were initializing our public property like this, prop tab, and supposing I need to create two fields, two properties, first name and last name of string type. So earlier it used to be like this. Okay, first name, and then if you repeat this, last name. All right, so click on it. So there was a limitation. The normal way of writing the public property, as you are all knowing to this date, is that the properties have to be mutable or changeable for object initializers to work. So what are object initializers? So I could write like that with object initializers, new person. I'm just telling you what is a object initializer if you are not sure. So first name, say Scott, last name John, something like that. Okay. Now in this case, now with object initializers, they give client a type, a very flexible and readable format for creating an object. Okay. And they are especially great for nested object creation where a whole tree of objects is created in one go. So this was an example. Okay. But supposing I want to write new person. Now when I say that the properties have to be mutable for object initializers to work, that means they function by first calling the object's constructor, okay, the default parameterless one in this case, and then assigning to the property setters. Now init-only property in the new language C#9 fixes this. They introduce an init accessor that is a variant of the set accessor which can only be called during the object initialization. So in that case, what happens is that I can write this in the person class. Instead of set, I can write an init. Sorry, init here. And then again, instead of set, that is init. Now, with this declaration, the client code is still legal, but any subsequent assignment to the first name and last name property is an error. So now if I run this application, if I just try to build this, you will come up with an error. The feature init-only setter is currently in preview and unsupported. To use preview features, use the preview language version. Okay. Similarly, at another line, this is the same thing. Okay. So what I do is that it is smart enough to show potential fixes. So the language, use the preview language version. So if I do the potential fix, so now I have upgraded the project to use the C# as a preview language. So Control Shift B. Okay, so now that error is gone because it has been upgraded to C# preview version, but I end up with another error. So system.runtime.compilerservice.external init is not defined in the person, okay, on this 2 point. So now this is a known bug. Now how this will get removed is by simply changing. What I have to do is to create another class, say console app, add a class, say let this be test class, okay, test class, and here I'll change the namespace to system dot runtime dot compiler services dot runtime dot compiler service. That's all I want, and then create a, instead of test class, I'll create this as a public class. Public class is external init. And then try rebuilding the application. Control Shift B. Now this time the build succeeded. So it's working fine. The init is working fine. So this is one of the things to test out. And another easy thing that I want to test is top level programming or other top level programs. So top level programs means, with this program class, when a project is created, it creates a shell, a class program, and then static void main and all this thing. So for a newbie, it is a considerable amount of boilerplate code. Okay, this is not only overwhelming for language beginners, but clutters up the code and adds level of indentation. So instead of that, if you want to write a simple hello world program, all you just need is no namespace at all. Only you need just using system. Get rid of this and write. You need the system namespace, and you can straight away, without creating any class or any um, method, void main method, you can write console.writeLine and write hello world and try building this. Let's see if it works. So this, and then click on build and then build solution. Lo and behold, it builds. And then if you click on the start icon, I built the application, ran the application, and it comes up with hello world, and press any key to continue. So this is magic, isn't it? So in this lecture, we have learned how to configure the C#.NET C# 9 version 9 preview, the latest preview 8, which was released recently, and how to configure our Visual Studio environment to run a C# 9 preview and tested a couple of things. Okay, thank you.